Good morning everyone, it's nice and early, it's Saturday morning, so it's time for our short high energy class. So if you're popping on this morning, it'd be lovely to know that somebody's watching, so feel free to just tap a little thumbs up or a heart, or pop a little comment in, just say hello so that I know you're there and watching this morning. As always, just make sure that you've got a nice, safe, clear working area. You haven't got any trip hazards. You're not really going to need anything other than your mat and yourself this morning. But if you're somebody who knows you need a cushion or a block just to prop your head or maybe your hips when we're working in different positions, then do grab one of those. Make sure you've got it to hand. So this is going to be a high energy class designed to get your heart rate up a bit. We're going to try and keep it flowing, keep it moving. So make sure that you take responsibility for what you're doing with your body this morning. Stay safe. So for some of the moves, if you've got things like osteoporosis, a diastasis, a hernia or a prolapse, then lifting head and shoulders off the mat isn't really appropriate for you. So if we're doing something where we're curled up, you're going to keep head and shoulders down. Similarly, if we're working with both legs up in the air, you're going to keep one foot firmly planted on the ground and just work one leg at a time. Okay, I'm going to turn the music up just a touch. So hopefully you can hear that. And I'm going to come into my good standing posture, heels under the hip bones, toes level, feet parallel, and just finding that I'm nice and centered through the feet before we start. Let's take a big breath in, lengthen the spine. Exhale, stay tall, connect into that center. Breath in and breath out. Breath in. Now let's turn the chin over the shoulder. Exhale, cross to the other side. Take a breath in. Exhale to move. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale back to center. Let's lift the shoulders. Stay tall, roll them back and down, just the shoulders. Try not to scoop up through that upper body. Open the chest as you roll those shoulders back and down. Feel them pull down the back towards your hips. Let's take one more. And into a little side bend. Lift out of the hips, stretch to the side and pull up tall. Stretching over and pulling up. One more to each side. Inhale and exhale as we lift out the hips. Now let's take the arms forwards. We're going to come into a bow and arrow. I want you to really put some energy into pulling that arm back to the hips. Pull back. Shoulders are down. And we're lifting that elbow behind us. Now we're going to add in a rotation in a moment. So if you have osteoporosis, allow your hips to go with you, otherwise see if you can keep them fixed. Let's take a breath in and exhale, rotate, follow that elbow round. Exhale. Breath out. Now the more you lift out of the hips, the more your abdominals are going to be working in this. So think lift as you turn, rather than pulling downward. Lift. That's it, one more. Now give me a lovely big arm circle, reach up, reach wide and down. And again, inhale. And exhale. Feeling that wonderful movement through the shoulders. Straight into foot pedals. Let's lift one heel and down. Lift the arms behind you. Palms are staying facing each other for now. Lift and squeeze back. Now we're going to open the shoulders. Lift the heel, turn the palms, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Exhale. One more each side. Thinking about where you're placing those heels. And give me another big arm circle up and reach it round and down. We're going to step one leg back. Let's flex the same arm as leg, flex the wrist. We're going to push back. Now push the heel of the hand forwards and up, big breath in. Now try and push through the body and the arm rather than up into the shoulder. Keep that shoulder down. Heel into the floor and then lift and stretch. Get a deeper stretch if you think about pushing your big toe away as well. Let's do two more. You really feel your energy rise as you do this. One last one. Now we're going to stay here. Hinge forward, come down into some lunges, sink into that heel and push up. Not too deep, remember we've just started, just warm up those legs. Collarbones are wide. We've got both knees pointing forwards. Now let's hold this one. We're going to peel that arm in, open and stretch, big breath in. If your shoulders allow, circle it round as you push up. And we're going to take that heel down, now lunge forward, stretch out the calf. Inhale and exhale. Is the back of your neck long? Have you got that core still switched on? Two more here. One last one. And then lift the heel, reach forwards. Come onto the toe of the back leg, shoulders down, lift that chest. Can you lift the toe off the floor? Lift and tap. Last two. And slide it in, wonderful. Just give me a little reach forwards, tuck the pelvis under, exhale. Inhale, open out. Exhale. Inhale. See if you can keep those ribs down so that we're opening the shoulders rather than flaring the ribs. Tuck that pelvis under, that movement's coming from the lower back. Exhale and inhale, one more and up. Let's step that other leg back. Okay, we're ready with that hand, flexed wrist. Let's press it back and reach it up, big breath in and push back. As you lift, you've got all those toes on the floor, we're not turning that leg, knees are pointing forwards. Inhale. One last one here. Okay, hinging forwards, down into those lunges for me. Just press into the heel. See if you can get those hamstrings working. So if you're quite quad dominant, so front of your thigh, you might feel like you're pressing into the ball of your foot. See if you can sink into your heel instead. And remember, we're going to hold this last one. Hold it here. Peel open. Take a stretch, big breath in. Can you circle it up and round as you come forwards? Okay, let's press back. Heel into the floor and up. Working through that foot. Stretching the calf out. Last one. We're coming forwards. Lift the arms, draw the shoulders back, lift that chest. Stretch that foot. We're going to lift and tap. One last one. And bring it in. Soft knees. Let's take that little tuck under. Exhale. Inhale, open. Breath out. Really open that lower back. One more. And stretching up, breath in, and bring it round and down. Now we're going to come down onto the mat. If a roll down isn't appropriate for you, so spinal issues, where really opening the back isn't a good idea, or you don't feel you've got the shoulder strength, then just come down nice and safely, join in when you get there. Otherwise we're going to do a roll down, so moving back. Let's take those arms up. Now as you bring them forwards, lengthen the back of the neck. Look through the fingertips, follow them down, keep lengthening, lifting, lifting, lifting all the way. Down to the floor. We're going to walk out into a plank. Lower those hips so we're in a good plank position. Now, we're going to push the hips up to the ceiling. Push your heels down. And forwards. Now, if you want to do this in semi-plank and you'd rather come to shell stretch and forwards, that's okay. But if you can, full body and forwards. Watch for dropping those hips down. Get to that point where you feel abs and glutes are working. Spread those fingers out. Shoulders are drawing back. One more. And then we're going to lower those knees. Hover. Now push back. So if you're in semi-plank doing this, and you're already on your knees, you're going to tuck your toes, press into your toes and hover. Or stay knees on the floor and just feel that they grow lighter. I'm going to come back a touch so you can see me properly. And into that hover. Push back. And hover. So you want to try and get those knees quite low. One more. And then all the way down with control. Come to your shell stretch, breath in. And exhale, curling up. We're going to go straight into the Sphinx roll. Pulled up tall. Let's rise onto the knees. Lower forwards into your 4-point position. Sit back into your shell stretch. Reach through the little fingers. Exhale, start at the pelvic floor. Breath out. Draw up. Shoulders are back. Make sure you take your shoulders with you rather than leaving them behind and rounding the back. So we sit back, we glide the little fingers forwards, draw the shoulders back. Exhale, start at the pelvic floor. Now bring your shoulders with you, curl up. Up onto the knees, lower forwards, sit back, big breath in, exhale, curl up, and lift, 2 more, lowering forwards, sit back, stretch, exhale, curl up, really use that breath to switch on that core, up and forwards. We're going to finish in kneeling, inhale, and exhale, curl up, and up into that kneeling position. From here we're going to take the arms across the chest. Now, diastasis, hernia, prolapse, you're going to stay here and I want you to just focus on drawing the abdominals in with your breath. Otherwise we're going to take a rock back, exhale. So what we need to be aware of here is leaning back with the shoulders and your lower back taking all the strain, or sitting back into the hips. Think straight line, lengthen away, try and reach the crown of your head away from your knees. Exhale. Now if that's already quite hard, stay with the arms here, otherwise can you take them forwards? Exhale. Inhale up. Exhale back. Inhale coming up. Really pull those shoulders down as you lift the arms. We've got one more. Are you still with me? And up. Take a big stretch. Round and down. Wonderful. Coming down into 4-point position now. So I'm going to move forwards just a touch. Shoulders strong and wide. Spreading the fingers out. Supporting from underneath. I've got my spine long. I'm going to take opposite arm and leg out. And lift. We're going to hold. Flex the foot, curl. And stretch. Now try and stay over that wrist. It is tempting here to sort of gradually move back and have your legs do more work. Let's get some energy going down through that arm. Little bit of softness in the elbow joint. Now stay here. Take the hand down. Lift that leg, you're coming into a push-up. So don't leave that leg behind and just move the body. Lift it. That's it, get that glute working. Aim forwards. Doesn't matter if you don't get all the way to the mat. And bring it down. And in. Are we ready to change sides? Let's extend and lift. Flex the foot, curl in. Stretch it out. Have you got a bit of softness in that elbow? Keep that knee lifted. Last one. Stretch it out. Let's bring that hand down into push-ups. Lift that leg. Now watch for turning the hips as you do this. Try and keep the hips square to the mat. One more. And leg down. And in. Sit back to your shelf stretch. Take a deep breath into the back. And then exhale, we're curling up. Okay, we're going to sit to the side now. Coming into on the walk. So this might be where you want a cushion under one hip. Let's reach the arms out. Anchor the hips to the floor. Reach the rib cage to one side. Pull up. If you'd rather have your arms across the chest, that's okay. We've got 2 more. Okay, let's rotate. Take that hand down, diagonally behind you. Reach and look to the other hand. You're going to bend that back arm, press towards the floor and reach up. Lift the chest. Keep those hips nice and still. We're going to do 2 more here, single arm push-ups from seated. Now, keep that arm there. We're going to swish that arm across, lift the chest, try and turn your chest to the ceiling and back. Stay with the hips on the floor if you need to, but if you can you lift, open the whole of the front of the body and down. Lift and stretch, inhale and exhale. Turn the chest to the ceiling, strong shoulder on that back arm. As you lift, you're sinking into that shoulder, push away from the floor. 1 last one. Now we're going to come down onto the forearm. Bring the legs back, making sure that elbow is directly underneath the shoulder, and we're rolled slightly towards the knees. So you don't want your knees up in front of you, you want them almost in line but not quite. So roll slightly towards the knees. We're going into clams. Now if that isn't good for you, lift, just make sure that your heel is going with you, okay? You're not leading with it or leaving it behind. Okay, otherwise, lift that rib cage, let's press through that arm into clams, open and down. Are you still lifting away from the floor? Now stay here with them if you need to, but if you can you push up and open? Use that other hip as well. Let's take the arm up. Now push over that elbow. Try not to reach away from it. One more. And down, wonderful. Okay, just give those knees a little hug in. Let's reach round, stretch the shoulders. Stretch the legs out, give me a big breath in. And down. Okay, let's come to the other side. Taking those arms out, anchoring the hips, lift tall, move just the rib cage, ribs and shoulders. Remember, arms across the excuse me, chest if you'd rather. One last one. And then let's turn and take that hand behind us. Reach and look to the other arm, open the shoulders into your little push-up. Keep the hips still if you can. Last two. One more. Okay, wonderful. From there, sweep the arm across, turn, lift the chest to the ceiling, and back. If you can lift the hips, let's lift the hips, turn and open, big breath in. Inhale. And exhale. Last one. Stretch and open. And down. Wonderful. We're ready for our clams. Bring that elbow down. Underneath the shoulder. Rolling towards the knees. So feel that you're pressing the knees into the floor rather than your glutes. Lift away from the floor. Use that pressure. Push away from the floor. Whichever version you did on the other side, you're doing it on this side. Let's open and down. Waking up those hips. Last two. Now if you can, adding in that lift. Squeeze and lift. And down. Take the arm up if it feels good. Remember to push over that elbow rather than away from it. So think of travelling towards your arm, towards your elbow. Control that lower. Watch for sinking into the shoulder, keep it strong. Last two. Last one. And down. Wonderful. Again, let's push up. Just give those knees a hug, wrap round. Releasing the shoulder. And then let's stretch the legs out, reach up. And reach wide. And down. We're going to come onto our backs now. So for those of you with disc issues, abdominal or pelvic floor issues, coming onto your side and then safely over onto your back. Otherwise, join me in a roll down. Anchor the heels up onto the sitting bones and draw the shoulders back. Let's take a breath out. Start to lean away from the hips. Press the heels down. All the way down. Take a stretch overhead. And bring the arms down. Wonderful. I'm just going to shimmy down the mat a little bit. Now, let's bend the knees up. Take them a little bit wider than the hips. We're going to take the arms, palms facing the ceiling. Now, hip replacement. You're just going to allow one knee to drop out and then bring it back up. Alternate side to side. Otherwise, long spine, pelvis neutral, even pressure on both sides of the hips. And we're going to keep them anchored. Drop the knees over to one side, take a breath in. Exhale, move to the other side. Inhale, release that grip, let the legs sink. Use your abdominals to hold the pelvis still, but just let the legs relax. Big breath in, exhale to move. Inhale. One more to each side. And then from there, back to hip distance with the legs. We're going to cross one leg over the other. Gently press away. If that's enough for you, stay here. If you can you bring that knee in? Deepen that hip stretch. Stay here if you need to. If it feels good, can you stretch that leg out? Without your head and shoulders coming off, can you reach that calf? So if your head and shoulders are having to come up, stay holding the thigh instead. And release. And down. Let's take that onto the other side. Pressing that thigh out. And then grabbing hold, bring it in. And again, if you can, take that stretch a little bit further. Can you reach that calf? And release. And down. Wonderful. Now we're going to take the arms pointing at the ceiling. Now, if you didn't do the roll down, if it wasn't safe for you, you're not going to do the roll up either. You're just going to come safely up into seated. So if you can do a roll up, if it's safe and appropriate, so your spine is fine, your abdominals and pelvic floor are fine, you're joining me. Let's take a breath in, reach the arms overhead. Lift up to the ceiling, nod the chin now, lift and lengthen. Anchor through your heels. Exhale. Curling up, soften the knees as you go. Wonderful, take a stretch up. And down. From there, we're going to come safely up into standing. So whichever way is safe and appropriate for you, but if you can, if it's safe, cross the ankles, press forwards and up. Okay, we're just going to finish with a few squats and raises. Hips slightly wider, feet slightly wider than the hips. Standing tall, we're just going to come into a little squat. And then push up and stretch. Inhale, circle those arms round. Into squat. And push up. Oh, that wasn't a very good balance, Sarah. Right, into that squat. Spread those toes out, lift. And lift. Okay, from there, take the arms forward. Just peel out, stretch. If shoulders allow, reach up and over. Peel open. Reach up and over. One more to each side. Use that breath. Inhale. Lift and stretch. One more. Now, we're going to step back to hip distance. Let's reach one arm up, big stretch up all through the side of the body. Push your little finger upwards and drop. Other side, reach and stretch. Take a little side stretch. Now just soften the knees and roll the shoulders round, just the shoulders and head. And restack. Let's start that on the other side. Stretch up. Breath in. And drop. Other side. Inhale. Reach over. Soft knees. Roll round. Just the head and shoulders. And restack. And let's soften the knees and stretch up. Inhale. And exhale. And you've done it. That was our high energy Saturday morning class. Just half an hour to get your energy levels up and get you ready for the weekend. So who have we had in? We've had Claire and Mick. Brilliant. Hope you enjoyed it. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Stay safe, everyone, and I'll be back with you on Monday.